Xavi makes his debut on the Barcelona bench against Espanyol. Jules, he got 3 points, but with a good dose of good fortune.
Yeah, he started well, I thought. They had intensity. He played Elias as a right winger. He wanted his wingers really wide. That kind of
Elias making his debut. And the other dude, El Fazul, whatever, came on. Also.
He played before a little bit with the Dutch guy. And then I thought the first half was decent. Good in the way they moved the ball. They had a few chances. They were just not clinical enough. And after that, it all dropped. I don't know if the intensity, physicality, the starting, feeling the pressure maybe. Espanyol played well. Raúl de Tomás hit the woodwork twice in the last 5 minutes or something. They got a very lucky penalty. Very soft pen.
Very soft pen. And the chance, the header that, is it the guy who came off the bench, the striker, Damita, is it?
Yeah, Damita.
That was lucky.
Yeah, so easily they could have drawn or even lost that game, but he would take the win and then move on to the huge Benfica game in the Champions League. Epic game, Gab, between Inter and Napoli at San Siro. Here, the shirt is just for you, Javier. Inter pulled out a 3-2 win and survive last-minute scare, or the last 5 minutes or so. It's now a 3 race, right, in Serie A?
Yeah, this was, I think it is, the gap is still 4 points, but I think this is a real statement of intent from Inter. I thought they played really well for long stretches, although this being Inter, they still nearly threw it away. They went a goal down, no problem. They plugged away, they created chances. Koulibaly giving up a penalty, and then at 3-1, he sends on Elif Elmas, Spalletti sends on Elif Elmas and Dries Mertens, and then this being Inter, they flip out because Mertens scores a great goal, and then Mertens really had a tremendous opportunity to make
header
it 3-3
by Marco
at
Rui
the end.
first. The header
from Mario Rui, which is the Handanovic save, which great save. Also lucky that it didn't go in the end, though. So look, I think this is the reality of Inter. It's herky-jerky. It's Spazza Inter. It's what they've actually been for most of their history. But the character is there, and I think that bodes really, really well for them. Sticking with Napoli, it's their first defeat of the season, and Victor Osimhen suffers a nasty injury, a dislocated fracture of his cheekbone and eye socket. Jules is going to be out for a month. Big impact on Napoli. Also probably Nigeria as well, because he's not going to be match fit when he comes back.
Certainly for the
Cup of Nations.
Yeah, exactly, with Nigeria. If you count a month, end of November to end to December, and then pretty much we'll have to go straight to get ready for the tournament. So huge miss, although Mertens can play as a force nine, we've seen, but doesn't have the same impact, and the way that Spalletti plays with his team, not the same at all, even if he scored a great goal on Sunday night.
And they have the tank, Petagna as well.
And Petagna as well, but again, not same level at all. So they will have to be really good to cope with that Osimhen. 24 hours earlier than this crazy Inter-Napoli game. Milan also lost for the first time in Serie A this season, losing 4-3 at Fiorentina, Gab. It was a wild match, also between Ibrahimovic and Vlahovic.
Yeah, this is pretty nuts because obviously Vlahovic, supposedly the next big thing, not named Erling Haaland. Clearly Ibrahimovic is his hero. Most people's last name ends in each have Zlatan as their hero. Milan went a goal down, bad mistake from Tatarusanu. Really? But then Fiorentina capitalized, pushed on. At one point, went to 3 goals. And then Milan plugged away. Ibrahimovic getting in there, scoring twice. In the end, Vlahovic, 2 goals, two really good goals, which in some ways are reminiscent of young Ibra, the way the running, the finishing, the strength, the intelligence, mitigated by the fact that Napoli lost the following day. I think they're still very much in this. Yeah. We get to see the M&M, and everything looks great for Paris Saint-Germain against Nantes until Keylor Navas's boneheaded red card nearly ruins it all. Good thing that Messi guy is around to help Pochettino.
It's good, but you know what? That first half was really good. Excellent from the front three, especially. Messi played a bit closer.
The finishing not so much.
No, but okay, they missed chances, but they could easily have been 4-0. Lafont was really good in goal for Nantes. They could have been 4-0 up at halftime. Messi playing closer to Neymar and Mbappe. Mbappe scoring again, by the way. It was really good. Then they took the eye off the ball a bit. Navas gets sent off for a crazy challenge outside of this box, and then it all got a bit crazy.
Not just that, we should also remind people, no Gigio Donnarumma on the bench. We got Sergio Rico Suave, come on.
There, who made a good save. And then Messi doing a Messi special to score his first goal in Ligue 1 on his 21st 21st shot on target, or 21st shot.
Far too many. He also helped the own goal, which made them 2-1.
Yes, exactly.
That Messi goal, it was funny because I'm like, I've seen this so many times.
But if you're the non-defender,
he cuts into right to left.
like,
you know what's going to happen, and you can't stop it.
Real Madrid power ahead at the top of LaLiga table as they win 4-1 away at Granada. Gab, this was arguably the best performance of the season, would you say, despite the opposition, because they're
I thought it was really, really good.
It was
like
very
day
good.
one, first minute, the midfield had control of the game.
So
They moved the ball very well. I really liked what Marco Asensio did as well. He scored. He's got so much quality, and I think this is his position going forward.
Yeah.
You can wait for Eden Hazard. You can even wait for Godot or Gareth Bale as he's known. But no, it's a big win for them. Ugly scenes between Olympique Lyonnais and Marseille as a bottle hits Dimitri Payet after 4 minutes. He's taking a corner kick. The match is eventually abandoned, Jules.
This is crazy, Gab. It's another mess. This is not the first time this season, unfortunately, for Ligue 1. This is the best Ligue 1 season we've had in ever, and yet we keep having those issues on the field, but off the field with ultras and fans. And this was even more chaotic because at some point we were told the game is going to restart. The Lyon players came out, but it was very clear that the Marseille players didn't want to restart because they didn't feel safe. Payet could not play again. So then the game was abandoned. After that, it's a mess between Lyon and the local authorities there and the French League. This is very simple to me, Gab. The game should have been stopped and abandoned straight away. The game should be lost by Lyon for not controlling their own fans. And this is it. I don't want to hear any more debates on what should we do. Should we restart? Should we resume? What about Payet? How does it feel? This is the way it should do. And I can guarantee you that the next time, no Lyon fans will throw anything on the pitch after their team lose 3-0 after 4 minutes against Marseille.
This is the whole idea. If they also close that sector as well,
exactly.
when you allow them back, you can be sure that some of those big tough ultras will be the ones patrolling the area, making sure that nobody does this.
Exactly.
Lyon are in 7th place. With his defeat, in the end of the season, it could mean the difference between playing in Europe or not. So
Crazy.
I would assume they care. Bild are reporting that Bayern Munich have decided not to pay unvaccinated players who test positive for COVID or have to enter mandatory quarantine. Jules, are you okay with that?
Completely okay with that. You penalize your club. If you don't get the vaccine and then you test positive, you penalize your club. Your club is without you for 2 weeks, maybe even more than that. When you have to get vaccinated, this is what the club is asking you to do. You don't want to do what the club say? No problem. They don't pay you if you test positive and have to self-isolate.
So I disagree with that. To me, this seems a little bit like you're playing to the crowd because I disagree with this.
Why?
Well, first of all, under labor law, if I get sick, I still expect my employer to pay me, right?
Okay.
Secondly, obviously being vaccinated doesn't mean that you can't get sick, or most importantly, doesn't mean that you can't be in mandatory quarantine,
it's
right?
No problem. If you got the vaccine and still get sick, they still pay you. You can't play. You have to self-isolate, but they pay you.
Right, but until there's I'm just surprised the law allows us. And one other thing too is considering you're out for 10 days. I mean, look, let's call spade a spade. It's like Joshua Kimmich, right? If I'm Joshua Kimmich, look,
15 quid.
Relative, it would be like
I know.
It would be like the company docking me, 50 quid.
It's for the principle. Florentino Perez is singing the Super League blues again. Gab told Real Madrid members that it's necessary to limit the irresponsible spending of big clubs like PSG and Manchester City.
Yeah, maybe limit the irresponsible spending of the other club that's still in the Super League, your friends at Barcelona, who nearly became insolvent as a result. Look, this is obfuscation and everything else. If you want to argue that you need tougher controls and the financial fair play wasn't as applied as tough as it could be, this is my issue all along, right? Then, yeah, I'll agree with you. Let's have rules, let's enforce them. And maybe they weren't tough enough on City and Paris Saint-Germain in the way you would have liked. Equally, and this is what everybody seems to continually ignore, is under the financial fair play rules, flawed as they were, any affected party, which means any other club, like Real Madrid, could have challenged any settlement agreement. Nobody challenged it. Yeah. Why? Because ultimately it's in their interest to have City and Paris Saint-Germain injecting cash into the system so that they can buy their crappy players off them, the ones they no longer want. No, it's as simple as that, right? And this is the big inconsistency there.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.